Israeli forces intensified their offensive on Gaza City, with explosions lighting up the sky overnight as tanks advanced deeper into the enclave. At least 4 fireballs were seen over Gaza in the early hours of Friday, following a day of heavy ground movements. Israeli tanks pushed forward along 2 main gateways to the city, while internet and phone lines were cut for several hours, signaling an escalation in operations. Hundreds of thousands remain trapped in Gaza City, many sheltering in battered homes or makeshift tents as the fighting intensifies. Palestinians are fleeing northern Gaza with belongings in hand as Israel intensifies its ground operations around Gaza City. Cars, trucks, carts, and even families on foot crowded the coastal road southward, while Israeli tanks advanced through 2 main gateways into central Gaza City. Internet and phone lines were cut for hours on Thursday, raising fears of further escalation. The UN says hundreds of thousands have already fled since Israel declared plans in August to seize the city, though many remain sheltering in ruined homes or makeshift tents. Health officials in Gaza say the Palestinian death toll has surpassed 65,000 since the war began last October, with more than 165,000 others wounded. Authorities reported 79 deaths and 228 injuries in the past 24 hours alone, as hospitals remain overwhelmed. They also confirmed additional fatalities from famine and malnutrition, including a child, underscoring the deepening humanitarian crisis in the enclave. The conflict, now in its 12th month, continues to exact a devastating toll on civilians. The United States has vetoed a UN Security Council resolution calling for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza and the lifting of all restrictions on humanitarian aid. The draft, introduced by 10 elected council members, received 14 votes in favor, but Washington cast the lone dissenting vote, blocking its adoption. The text also demanded the unconditional and dignified release of all detainees held by all parties. The U.S., as a permanent council member, has veto power and has previously blocked resolutions critical of Israel or unfavorable to its position. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said the war is costing Israel heavily, but vowed it will not retreat until all objectives are met. Netanyahu said the army is striking Hamas hard and will not stop until the mission is complete. He insisted the conflict will continue until Israel achieves its declared goals in Gaza, despite the growing toll. Gaza's health ministry says 800,000 Palestinians in Gaza City are facing catastrophic conditions as hospitals operate far beyond capacity. Officials reported that the few hospitals still functioning in the city are overcrowded, operating at more than 250% capacity and providing only limited services. The ministry warned the crisis is worsening as casualties continue to rise. Palestinian statistics show about 740,000 people remain in northern Gaza, representing 35% of the Strip's total population. The Palestinian Central Bureau of Statistics said the numbers reflect a grim demographic shift, with northern Gaza turning from a key population hub into a center of renewed displacement amid insecurity and lack of basic humanitarian services. The World Health Organization has condemned what it calls inhumane conditions in Gaza as Israel intensifies its assault on the territory's largest urban center. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said Israel's military incursion and evacuation orders in northern Gaza are driving new waves of displacement, forcing already traumatized families into an ever-shrinking areas. His remarks came at a press conference in Geneva as aid agencies warn the humanitarian crisis in Gaza is worsening by the day.
Yesterday, the Al-Rantisi hospital was attacked while
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and US President Donald Trump say they agree on the need for a peace roadmap in Gaza, though they differ on recognition of a Palestinian state. After a bilateral meeting in London, Starmer said both leaders agreed that the situation in Gaza is intolerable and that a roadmap towards peace is essential. But Trump told reporters he disagreed with countries recognizing Palestine, calling it one of the few differences he has with the British Prime Minister. The meeting comes amid mounting pressure on world leaders to chart a path out of the conflict.